Let's talk about 10 things you should never do as someone who values and appreciates themselves. These are things that I would personally never tolerate for the simple fact that I respect myself and because I know my worth. Number 1 is that I would never settle for low minimum effort in any relationship. As someone who values themselves and who is in her power, I would never tolerate anyone who doesn't know how to communicate, who isn't thoughtful with me, who doesn't really put in any effort to maintain our connection, who is not honest or faithful, and basically who doesn't have the most basic foundational things of any relationship. Because this does apply to both romantic connections and platonic ones as well. So if someone is not putting in the effort to be romantic towards me when that's something that matters to me, like bringing me flowers, dedicating me a song, or making me a nice dinner, opening doors for me. I mean, these are really easy things. And if they're not able to do these really easy things, then why should I tolerate it? Why should I continue to have to repeat myself on these things? Why should I continue asking for the bare minimum? If I have already expressed to someone that I like to communicate, that I want to hear from you, and that if you're going to be busy, to just let me know instead of leaving me on red, instead of responding to me days later, instead of avoiding certain conversations, and they're not putting in the effort to change the way in which they are communicating, then I know I have to remove myself. I'm not going to keep begging you for the bare minimum. I'm not going to settle for someone that can't be thoughtful when being thoughtful doesn't cost a single thing. Being thoughtful could be as simple as cleaning up for me before I get home, or getting me my favorite chocolate bar when you see it at the store. So if there's anyone in my life that cannot put in the bare minimum effort in the basics, in the foundation of our connection, then it's not really a connection or a relationship that I can grow with. How are we going to grow if you're not willing to put in the work with me? And as someone who values themselves, you are going to put yourself first. And no matter the history, no matter the love, you're going to set strong boundaries with that person, and they either change or you remove yourself. The second thing I would never do as a high-value woman is to chase for validation outside of myself, specifically not on social media or not from strangers. I don't need for anyone to tell me what I'm capable of or what I'm not capable of. I don't need for someone to tell me how beautiful I am to feel beautiful. And this is outside of receiving compliments or receiving feedback, okay? Someone can give you a nice compliment and someone can give you their advice, but you don't need to hear these things to feel worthy of those things inside. This is you knowing how good looking you are, how sexy you are, how bomb you are without someone telling you that. This is you going for the job that you want, the position that you're interested in, or start posting content if that's what you want to do without needing permission from other people, without needing someone else to tell you, oh yes, you're good enough to step into that position. Oh yeah, you're good enough to start posting content. You do these things because you know you're capable, because you know you can figure it out, because you trust in yourself. This is also you taking yourself out on solo dates without waiting for other people. Let's say that you've been wanting to go to a new restaurant, or you've been wanting to try some sort of new activity or a new hobby, but your friends haven't had the time to go with you, or your partner doesn't want to go with you. As a high-value woman, you go and do it yourself. You don't just depend on other people to do the things that you want to do. You don't wait for approval. And let me also say that specifically when it comes to chasing validation, which is where we see it the most, is in dating. You never, ever, ever depend on a man to feel worthy, to feel enough. You don't just sit around waiting for someone to text you back to feel good enough for your day to get better. You don't wait for them to make up their mind about committing to you, about loving you, to feel worthy of love and being loved. Not chasing validation is simply only needing and wanting validation from yourself. Because when you want and seek only your own validation, you don't care about any other type of validation. Not from anyone. When you only look at how you feel and what you think about yourself, it doesn't matter what others think of you. The third thing I would never do as someone that knows their worth is that I would never over-explain myself or apologize for having standards. And this is huge. I'm not gonna lie, I used to really struggle struggle with not over-explaining myself. I always felt like I had to add more context and I had to explain so that I wouldn't be looked as a bad person. And that's the thing. That over-explaining comes from the fear of being judged. It comes from being misunderstood or labeled. This is when you care too much about what people think about you and who you are. So let's say, for example, that there's a guy that likes you and he's been a bit persistent in inviting you out. But you're simply not really feeling it and you don't want to go out because you haven't been in the right space. Instead of apologizing and constantly saying sorry and sending them an entire paragraph on why you can't make it, know that it's okay to simply tell them that you're not available and that you can plan for a future time. And of course, if it's someone that you're comfortable with and you want to explain a little deeper, you could explain what you're going through at the moment. But if you don't feel like diving into detail, you can simply leave it at not this time, maybe next time. Even if it's a family member asking you for a favor and you're not able to, you don't always have to over-explain yourself. You can simply say, I'm not able to this time, maybe next time. I would always over-explain myself and even give details of things that I literally did not have to because I didn't want to seem like the mean or bad person. And it doesn't make you a bad person to prioritize yourself and your needs. And the other thing with this as well is not lowering your standards. This is you not apologizing for putting yourself on a pedestal. If someone can't meet you where you desire to be met, then it just simply means that they're not a match for you, and that's okay. Don't lower your standards for someone who's down here simply because you're attracted to them. Because in the long run, you and that person will not even be compatible. This one basically ties in with number 1, which is not tolerating the bare minimum. Because if you're someone who is hardworking, who knows how to communicate, who is thoughtful, who is loyal, why should you tolerate or have to settle for someone who doesn't have those same qualities? As a high-value woman, you know that this is not something debatable, period. Number 4 is that as a high-value woman, I would never stay in an environment where I am not respected. And I mean any environment. This could be work, this could be a relationship, a friendship, a family member. If someone does not treat me with the same respect that I give them, I'm not going to fake it. And I'm not going to tolerate it. This is you noting how your boss talks to you, how your friend treats you, how your partner treats you. Do they respect your boundaries? Do they consider you? Do they appreciate you? And who you are as a person, the effort, the love, the care, the attention that you give and that you offer. Do they reciprocate that in some sort of way or form? Basically, if you're in any environment where you feel you're not being appreciated, you're not being respected, you know to remove yourself from any environment that drains your energy, does not support you, that does not uplift you. And this really goes back to your boundaries. When you have boundaries in place on what you will and will not tolerate, you know when it's time to go. This is you being clear that you're not going to tolerate being overworked. This is you being clear that you're not going to tolerate a fake friend, a friend that is only there when it's convenient to them, a friend that is only there when they want to. This is you being aware when your partner is taking advantage of you. Because when someone respects you, they admire you. They respect your wishes and your desires. And really, all that I'm trying to say with this one is that you would not stay in toxic environments. Number 5, which is to never compare yourself to other women. And I know how easy it is to compare ourselves, whether you do it on a conscious or unconscious way, whether you do it intentionally or not. Sometimes we do it with a little bit of envy, and sometimes we do it with a wishful thinking. You know, I wish I had her body. I wish I looked the way that she does. I wish I had her hair. I wish I was making the amount of money she was making. I wish I had the success, the recognition, the money, the happiness, the relationship that that person has. It's very easy to compare ourselves. But as a high-value woman, as someone that knows their worth specifically, you know that you are worthy of that as well. You know that you can have that as well. The relationship, the success, the money, the happiness, the fulfilling life. And when you truly believe that you are capable, that you are worthy of that lifestyle as well, you're not going to be jealous because you know there's enough for everyone. Maybe you don't have that right now, but your time will come and you trust in that. You believe in that. So instead of comparing yourself, instead of being jealous of others, you trust in divine timing. You wait for your timing to come as you take aligned action, as you do what you know you need to be doing to attract those things into your life as well. Whether it's the person, more money, a new house, a new car, whatever it is that you want. And the other thing too you is that you'll be surprised how often we compare ourselves. We wish to have the life that someone else has. Meanwhile, they are also looking at someone else or even at you and wishing for the same thing. While you want to look like them, they're looking at you wishing that they had something that you have. Or someone else is looking at you wishing that they had your lifestyle, your car, your job, your partner, whatever it is. So be aware of when you're operating from the lack mentality, from the scarcity mentality, and take control in that moment. Remind yourself that you too are worthy of that you too will be there eventually. Because as a high-value woman, you don't want to radiate envy. You want to radiate confidence. You want to radiate certainty. And you start by knowing that you are worthy of those things as well. And they're not just lucky. They didn't just win the lottery and magically woke up in that lifestyle. At least most of us, that's not how it works. They worked for that lifestyle themselves as well. You don't know what mental or emotional battles those people have gone through to get to where they are at now. We can't compare our journeys to someone else because no journey is going to be identical. No two people are identical. They too had to overcome their own struggles and challenges, even if their life now seems so perfect and put together. Number 6 is to never entertain relationships that lack emotional intelligence. And this for me is the highest on the list. I mean, if you truly apply this and you understand this, I promise you the type of people, the type of connections you will be attracting into your life are going to be entirely different. These are going to be relationships that you can actually grow with, people you can last a lifetime with. It's people who are self-aware, who can take accountability, who can manage their emotions. People who lack emotional intelligence are people who don't know how to validate your feelings. When you feel a certain way, when you bring up a certain concern, instead of listening to you, instead of validating your feelings, they say that you're wrong. They point their fingers at you and don't take accountability even if they're wrong. They dismiss your feelings because they're not connected to their own feelings. They don't know how to process their own emotions. So they don't even know how to deal with other people's emotions. People who lack emotional intelligence don't know how to communicate. They also don't know how to handle when they feel upset, when they feel angry. So these are the type of people that lash out, that manipulate you, that gaslight you, that make you feel like you're the bad guy even when you did nothing wrong. People who lack emotional intelligence don't know how to express themselves and often leave you feeling lost because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're feeling, which eventually just drains you of your own energy. And guys, you're going to have to bear with me in this video because I am in an entire different setting. The light just went off. I only have one lamp on, but we're gonna keep going. It's okay. We got this. And tip number 7 that I would never do as someone who is connected to herself, someone who knows herself, is that I would never ignore my intuition. You understand the power of being connected to your inner compass because your intuition is what guides you through life. It is what tells you where you need to be, where you need to go, who to allow in your life, what decision to make, what path to take. I mean, think about how many times we ask for guidance, we pray, or we ask ourselves what to do. We even seek for external guidance. We ask a friend, we ask our partner, we ask our parent, we ask the universe, we ask God about what to do about certain situations in our life. Should I take this job? Should I leave this person? Should I start the business? And these are all things that your intuition will lead you to. And not only that it will guide you there, but it's the path that is most aligned with you, the path that will bring you most joy, most fulfillment, most happiness. So when you're in tune with your intuition, when you're able to listen to it without letting the ego mind, your clouded mind, the chatter of your mind, of your thoughts, you can lean in to this path that is waiting for you, the path of most abundance. And all your intuition is that little gut feeling, the little nudging feeling that you get about certain people, about certain decisions that you need to make. If you are present enough, if you slow down enough, which I talked about in the 10 micro habits to increase your feminine energy video, I'll tag that around here. If you're able to slow down enough, listen to your body, be in tune with your body, you will know and you will pick up so easily on your intuition because it's always talking to us. There's a reason why you got that gut feeling, that hunch, that nudging feeling to go and apply to that job, to check your ex's phone because there was something shady going on. There's a reason why you had that gut feeling deciding not to take a certain route today because maybe there was an accident or maybe something bad was going to go down if you went down that road today. There's a reason why you suddenly out of nowhere or without really knowing how, there's something in you that tells you not to trust that friend of yours. It's when you have that inner knowing to leave that toxic relationship, to leave that job that you're not truly fulfilled in. It's these little nudges that are there, that are subtle, but that are so strong and that will have such a strong impact in your life. The majority of the time, we wait until God steps in. We wait for the universe to shake things up. And this is you finding out that they were cheating. This is you getting fired. This is you hitting rock bottom where you feel lost, when you feel stagnant, so that you can move, so that you can start, so that you can face your fears. But we don't always have to wait for things to hit rock bottom to align ourselves. If you listen to your intuition, then you can do it without the hustle. So if you really want to start being more high value, if you really want to start connecting with yourself deeper, start by strengthening your intuition, by listening to that gut feeling, as scary as it is to lean into it, as scary as it is to do the thing that you just know you should be doing. Tip number 8 is that I will never not prioritize my physical or mental health. I always make sure to make time for my physical and mental health. And I will be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of working out. I don't like the heavy lifting. So the way in which I take care of my physical health are in 2 ways. I usually do physical movements such as dancing, yoga, or going for a walk. And I also make sure to eat healthy. I make myself nurturing and nutritious meals every week because my physical health is worth the time and the energy that I invest in meal prepping, in taking time to do yoga, in taking time to go for a walk, in taking time to go social dancing or dancing at home when I don't have the time or the energy to go out social dancing. And when it comes to my mental health, this is just simply something you should never, ever dismiss. It is one of the most, if not the most important aspect of yourself. It is your mind. Maintaining a positive mind is the way to get things done. It's the way to believe in yourself. It's the way to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because if you allow yourself to have too many negative thoughts, you're going to go down a rabbit hole of reasons and excuses on why you can't do the things that you desire to do, on why you're not capable, on why you're not enough yet, on why your life is so miserable and incomplete and the worst, when that's not the case. You probably already know by now that our minds can be your biggest enemy. And if you don't get a hold of it, if you don't have it working for you, with you, it will turn against you. This is why people are depressed. This is why people have anxiety. Yes, obviously the experience, the trauma is the reason why the negative thoughts even start, but it is through your mental strength, it is through positive thinking, through self-affirmations that you get out of these phases, of these challenging times, because that's all they are. It's just a bad time in your life. It's not forever, and you can very much overcome it, but not without a strong mindset. This is where journaling comes in. This is where surrounding yourself with positive people, listening to positive things comes in. But really, all you have to do is schedule some time throughout the week to sit with your thoughts and to release them, to organize them. This is why I always mention journaling. It's not just to say, oh, journal. It's because it's so incredibly powerful. It really does make a huge difference. As someone that values themselves, I have to have my mindful practices. This is meditating or scheduling time for just myself to relax and disconnect. And again, for the 5th, 10th time, this is also journaling. Number 9 is to never dim your light to make others happy. This is you not sacrificing your own happiness at the expense of someone else's happiness. Specifically, if it's someone that just takes advantage of you, that doesn't even appreciate or see your efforts. There are people that are bothered when you are better or greater than them. There are people that feel intimidated when you are better at them at something, when you outshine them. These are the people that you could be in a really good mood. You could be really excited about something, or maybe when something really good happens to you, but that person person just gets jealous and envious of you and your success, of how happy you are, and they drain you of it. They take away from your spotlight. These are people that are not truly, genuinely happy for you and your success. And they seem to always say, but why are you doing that? And why are you going there? And why do you get that and not me? Instead of applauding you for whatever it is that you have going on for you that is good, that is an achievement. So you need to watch out for people like this. As a high-value woman, you know not to dim your light for someone else. And last but not least, number 10, this is to never belittle yourself. No negative talk. And this sort of goes a little bit hand in hand with number 8 when we talked about mental health. But this is you never allowing yourself under any circumstances, and specifically situations where you're frustrated, where you messed up or did something that you regret, is that you would not allow yourself to talk badly and poorly about yourself. You're not going to judge yourself or call yourself names. You're not going to tell yourself that you were stupid, that was dumb. You're not going to tell yourself that you look ugly or that you're not good enough. You're not going to call yourself weird for saying something that you shouldn't have said or saying something in the wrong way. And you're not going to be ignoring your needs either. This is about prioritizing yourself. This is all about you, loving yourself, catering to you, pouring into yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. No type of belittling in no area, in no way, and no form. You need to remember and remind yourself how important, how worthy, how valuable you are, because you are. And by the way, notice how the lights came back on? This is a sign of how important this message specifically is. As someone who is high value, you know you are high value. Would you ever say that a diamond is not a diamond? Would you ever say that a $100 bill is worth $1? Would you compare a 2025 new vehicle to a 1970 old vehicle? No, you would not. You would know that these things are much more valuable, and you would treat them as such. So get in the habit of valuing yourself, and you do this by focusing on you, not on relationships that are wasting your time, not on a job that drains you, not on negative self-talk, but you focus on catering to yourself, on knowing yourself more, on healing yourself, on healing your traumas, healing your wounds, getting over your fears and facing them, building up your confidence, both externally and internally. Get to know yourself to the deepest parts of you by dating yourself, by sitting and spending quality time with yourself. I also have an entire video that you can watch on dating, connecting, and loving on yourself, so I'll also include that in the description below for you to check out if you'd like to. And what I truly want you to take away from not belittling yourself is to remember that you have to prioritize you. Is that you have to give yourself importance as you would with someone that you love and care about, as you would with something that matters to you. Show yourself that you matter to yourself. And what best way to do that than to pour into yourself? All right, my loves, that is all for this video. I hope that this was helpful and insightful. Let me know in the comments down below which one resonated with you the most and which one you feel that you need to practice and embody more of. All right, until the next one, see ya!